for video time again. This Unholy Noise in the background arrived a day or two ago. I'm not going to say the name of this band, I can't even pronounce it, but I'll write it up on the screen when I edit the video up. So this is a New Zealand noise, as you can hear, droning noise, soundscape, experimental, whatever you want to call it. Not particularly musical, but it's a pretty good drone actually. I like it. It's another Anthony Milton project. He's done a lot of stuff. I've got several records of his. Most of his music's done on lathe cut polycarb, and I don't want to go there because it's just too much low quality, and they don't play very well. But ones that I've got so far. So anyway, so that's cool. And I think in my last video I mentioned that a seller sent me the wrong record. Well, he got me the right one this time, so this is the one he was supposed to send me. New Zealand Composer Edition, Chamberworks Volume 1. I already have Volume 2. Volume 1 is the one that I really wanted the most because it's got a couple of electronic pieces in a similar sort of vein to that box set that I showed a couple of videos back. So Douglas Lilburn again, and Jack Body. Jack Body's Turtle Time and John Rimmer's Composition 2 for Winds Quintet and Electronic Sounds are the two that I was actually familiar with, because I think Chris played them on a show he did covering this sort of music. So yeah, that's cool. So I finally got that one. So okay, so the postie's been at Saturday morning. I went to a gig last night and I've actually not long got out of bed because I didn't get home until about 1 o'clock, and then but postie's been, and I've got a bunch of parcels. So this one here is actually the gig I went to last night was a band called Death and the Maiden, and Death and the Maiden, they are fantastic New Zealand indie electronic sort of pop band, and they are on the Fish Rider Records, and you've all seen me post Fish Rider many times before. I have most of their catalogue, and there you go, they've given me an updated, I have all their catalogue that's on vinyl, but there are a couple that aren't on vinyl, and also they're not New Zealand ones that I don't have, and there is one on vinyl I don't have, but I have it on CD. But yeah, there are a couple of New Zealand, non-New Zealand ones. I'll have to check on that, but I think the three on the back here aren't New Zealand. Factory Star, Distractions. Anyway, better stop plattering on. I'm going to run out of time. Bad Sav is the name of this record. So this is hot off the press. As a matter of fact, it's not actually getting released into the shops until about 2 weeks from now. So I got it directly through their Bandcamp page, and they sent it out straight away. So that's really cool. So this is actually one of the girls who played in the band last night at the Death and the Maiden gig, the leader of the band. And I kind of vaguely knew something about that when I was speaking to her, and when she was on the door, and she said, yeah, that's us. Guitar rock is dead, no one told Bad Sav. Their distinctive filtering and reasonable reassembly of influences from shoegaze, psychedelic noise rock, and goodness knows what else conjures up Dunedin's unique sonic alchemy. Yeah, okay. I haven't actually had a listen to this. I just buy Fish Rider pretty much sight unseen because I love their music so much. Also, I think out of Dunedin, yes it is. So I was on Facebook the other night talking with, now, you know, I mentioned Chris Walker's name many a time because I listened to his podcast, his Counting the Beat New Zealand Music podcast, and he puts me onto a lot of fantastic New Zealand music. Very knowledgeable man. Anyway, there were some records that I knew about, and he said, oh look, I picked these two up from, in our conversation, from Relics in Dunedin. So I went on their website, and I've shopped at Relics. I've actually been to their shop a couple of times when I've been down there. And lo and behold, yes, they had the two records for a bloody good price. And while I was browsing their site, I found another one, which I've been looking for. It's another compilation, people, another New Zealand compilation. And this compilation is quite rare. It's been out for quite a long time, and it's quite rare, and it's selling pretty expensively on Discogs. And I hadn't seen a copy for for less than $100, and I think fairly well over $100. Anyway, lo and behold, they had it on their website for $80. So that's a little bit more than I like to pay, but it's in excellent condition. So there it is, Children of the Generator. So I have heard a couple of tracks off this that again Chris had played on one of his shows. So it was a rather expensive night on the yeah, on there. I actually bought quite a few records, not just this. So yeah, I'm really stacked. Children of the Generator. When was this? It actually isn't a date on it. I think it's from the late 90s or mid. It says Headless Chickens are on it. So Black Girl's Machine. Some really obscure. God Had a Megaphone was the track I think that Chris played, which I just absolutely love. So yeah, I'm really rapt to have that. So, and then the one I've been trying to chase up is this Bill Irene's latest reissue of a CD originally from '94. CD only released back in those days, and I'd actually contacted Bill down in Dunedin, and he didn't have any copies at the time, and he said, I'm not really set up for posting, but I can do something for you. But the copies got lost in the mail actually when they imported them. This is on Zell Records, and Arno from Zell was on Facebook saying, oh, my bloody parcel of records disappeared. But anyway, they finally tracked them down, and yeah, when Chris told me about this, because I was going to wait, Bill's playing here in October in support of this release, and I would have just grabbed one off him at the gig. But when Chris told me the price and what they were selling them for down there, and I didn't want to run the risk of the bill running out, because he was playing gigs in Dunedin first, and you know, probably wouldn't have, but anyway. So got that, really pleased to have that. And then this one here, the last one of the day from Relics, My Bonnie Belle, a Dunedin celebration of Robbie Burns. So this is the second volume that's done of this. Yeah, so this is a whole bunch of people who are using Robbie Burns as, I think he was a poet, wasn't he? A writer of some sort from 1759. Dunedin being of Scottish heritage in a big way. Yeah, so this is the second version of the first one was called A Fond Kiss, and I see someone is actually doing that on here. So this is, what is it called? My Bonnie Belle. So it's all compilation. The Sharma brothers, so we know I've got their stuff from them, Aaron and Robin from their bands Seafog and Robin, AJ Sharma's self-titled album that he did. Bill Doreen's on here. Robert Scott from the Bats is on here. David Mitchell and Jay Clarkson. Wow, there's some big names on here in New Zealand music, so that's cool. Right, and then this one, I'm getting a bit concerned about this package. This just turned up from Europe. This is probably, I've still got one more Discogs order, but this has been the one that's been in the mail the longest. This was a big expensive purchase. No, it wasn't a big expensive purchase, but I picked up quite a few records here. So, what we got? Oh dear. Well packaged. Let's split her in two and open her up. Bear with me here. So, this is not easy, is it? Put that on the rubbish pile. Good packaging, my friends. This is what you need. It's going to come all the way from Europe. Right. Right, the first box. Right, Pull Motion Band. This is an ECM. So I picked up a lot of these because I picked up 5 records from the seller because I wanted to get as many as I could for the amount of postage that it's going to cost me. So the more I bought, the cheaper per album it ended up being. So this is cool. But I mean, you know, everyone knows I collect ECMs, and this is a German pressing. Right, Bill Frizzle's on this. Excellent. Yeah, so I don't think I've got any of Paul's stuff on ECM yet, so that's cool, good to have. This is the purchase that I actually was very keen on making. Jay Clarkson's Expendables. Now I think this is their second. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 track record, but I think it's an EP. This is very hard to find in New Zealand, and you can pay. I've seen it for over $100, and I picked it up for considerably cheaper than that. It's not a Flying Nun, is it? Oh yes it is. Flying Nun 029, there we go. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's a 33 or 45, but oh yeah, Flying Nun. They put out 2 EPs as the Expendables. Oh, they were Expendable, I think was their first one, and then they put out this one. Again, the other EP is kind of 6 to 7 tracks as well, so almost verging on being an album. Anyway, so that's cool. So I am really, really pleased because it is so hard to find this stuff in New Zealand, and it's never been reissued. So, and then there's a 7-inch which I used to have of hers, the Flower. That's fantastic. But yeah, no, really pleased. This one here I got really cheap. I think it was about €5, so probably less than $10 New Zealand. I don't know what this is going to be like. I do have another Idols record, and I have seen this in the shops around, and it doesn't sell for big money, but like I say, I didn't pay much for it. So the other Idols one I think is a live one I've got. So, and then now what were the other 2 that I got? Let's have a look. Oh, come on. This is well wrapped up. As you can hear, Anthony Milton getting pretty droney there in the background and making a hell of a racket. Not the sort of music I'm going to play when my wife's around. And here we go. So, 2 more records. What do we got? That's right. Okay, Delta 5 from 19. There's no date on it. So this was pretty cheap, and I was familiar with Delta 5, 1981. I'm not sure if there was they had a really cool track on a compilation I used to own many years ago, and I'm not actually sure if that's on here, but post-punk, I think there was a female vocal, was there? God, it's hard to read their writing. Oh, there's lots of vocalists on this. Yeah, so that'll be interesting. And the last one, oh yeah, this guy Steve Myrow. Steve Myrow. This is his solo album. Now he was in a band called Steve Myrow and the something or others, and God, I can't remember what they were. And I'd heard a bit of their music. But this is a solo record he did in 1984. God, it's been a long time since I listened to his music, so I can't even think what the hell this is like now. I think it's sort of like minimal techno and some sort of thing. But I had heard this record at some stage in the past, so and I liked his music, so I'm taking a bit of a gamble on it. But again, it was fairly cheap, and I got them here for a good price. So, wow, 5 records all packaged up. So that's what, 5 there. 6, 7, 8, 9 records, and there's still some more I was expecting to turn up today. There's 2 more in the post I was expecting to turn up, and they haven't, and there's 1 more in Discogs. But next weekend is a record fair in Christchurch, and I really don't know how I'm going to afford to go to it, but I'm going to it. It's the first record fair in the South Island, or certainly in Christchurch, for quite some time. There was a wee one at Littleton last year, which I've scored some great New Zealand stuff. So yeah, it looks like I've got a cleaning session ahead of me now. It's actually late morning. I've not long got out of bed because I didn't get home till 1 o'clock, and no, nearly 2 o'clock last night. So it's a shame because I had a beautiful day outside, beautiful spring day, and I should get out and do some work. Anyway, thank you for that, and we'll see you again next time, people. Have a good, happy vinyl hunting. Cheers.